Greetings, friends, and welcome to our fifth installment of a Bible Refresher in 5. What's in it for you? Reed Bear, pastor and teacher at West Parish of Barnstable United Church of Christ on Old Cape Cod. This week I want to share with you some thoughts on where to start when it comes to reading the Bible. Now, the answer, of course, is at the beginning. After all, that's how you read just about every other book. But well, actually, it's more complicated than that. First off, when it comes to reading the Bible, if you start with the first page of the first book in the Bible, Genesis, you may be setting yourself up for failure. The thing is, well, the first several books of the Bible can be ripping good reads. Genesis, with those great stories about creation, Adam and Eve, Abraham and Sarah, and their totally dysfunctional family and descendants. And then on to Moses and Pharaoh and the parting of the Red Sea and so on. Pretty soon you'll find yourself bogged down in dietary laws, the decorations for the tent housing the Ark of the Covenant, and so on. A snooze fest. Now, another approach would be to start at the beginning with what we might assume would be creation. Indeed, the first chapters of the first book of the Bible, Genesis, do just that with a classic opening in the beginning. But the thing is, the story really begins elsewhere. The Hebrew people, the folk who wrote what we call the Old Testament in the Bible, the first half of the Bible, if you will, they, of course, were not around to witness creation when it happened, and in fact only got around to writing about that some 6 centuries before Jesus was born. Their story really begins with the events detailed in the second book in the Bible, Exodus. They were enslaved in Egypt, and yet God hears their cries and sends Moses to lead them from slavery to freedom, to take them on towards the promised land. And this same God covenants to be their God, and they covenant to be God's people. So if you're looking to start at the beginning, you could do worse than start with Exodus. It's the second book of the Bible. Now, another approach would be to start with Jesus, and that means fast forwarding to what we call the New Testament. It consists of 4 Gospels, which basically tell the story of Jesus' birth, ministry, death, and resurrection, but also has an account of the earliest days of what came to be known as the church. And that book's called the Acts of the Apostles. And the New Testament also has a number of letters that were circulating among local churches in the first few centuries, and other materials as well. So if you do this, I recommend starting with the Gospel of Jesus Christ according to Mark, because it's the shortest of the 4 Gospels. It's a great read, no fluff at all, punchy and to the point. And then you might check out Luke's Gospel, because it not only has that great nativity account we remember from Charlie Brown's Christmas, it also has some of those memorable parables that are not found in Mark. The parable of the Good Samaritan, the parable of the prodigal son, and more. And another approach, you could just skip around. For pithy bits of wisdom, look to Proverbs. For short, engaging narratives, try the Book of Ruth, a great story of loyalty starring a spunky young widow who hooks up at the harvest festival. Or try the Book of Esther, the winner of a beauty pageant who becomes a queen and then saves her people from genocide. Or try Jonah. We talked about that one last week. Bottom line, try an approach and see if it works. And if it doesn't, switch it up. Trust me, this is not going to be on the exam. But dollars to donuts, you will come away with some new insights, new questions, perhaps even a conviction that the God portrayed in this ancient volume is speaking to you today. What's in the Bible for you? Nothing less than new and abundant life. See you next week, and God bless you all, everyone.